This is Face the State for Sunday, March 7th. We are a week into the bombing and all the fighting in Iran, and Congress will not slow down the president's plans thanks to, in part, some PA elected leaders. Will there be a political fallout sooner than later with that? And sooner is the answer to gas prices being on the rise already, but instead of just complaining about them, how about fighting back? We're talking to some state representatives that want to do just that. And how could Israel's successful hacking in Iran affect traffic tickets in Washington, D.C.? We are connecting the dots on that next as well.
CBS 21 News presents Face the State with Joel D. Smith, a look at the issues and politics that shape Pennsylvania.
My first guest is a Republican from Blair and Huntington counties, Representative Scott Barger. Thanks for being on the show.
Hey, Joel, thanks for the invite. I appreciate you.
Affordability is that magic word, the A word everyone's talking about, but what do you do about it? Energy prices, gas prices, where do you want to start? What can you folks who are in the legislature actually do to address some of this stuff?
Well, I think that we should start by making sure that the folks back home understand why we are in this situation. We've had a lot of folks reach out to my office here in Blair asking, hey, why are electric prices going up so much here in Pennsylvania? And a lot of people aren't aware that Pennsylvania is part of a larger multi-state grid, and that decreased supply and increased demand across all of those states are affecting the cost of electricity here in the Commonwealth. They don't understand, they aren't aware of that. They're not thinking about that. It's our job to explain that this is part of a nationwide problem, not just a Pennsylvania problem, but there are things that we can do here in PA to help that situation. But I think sometimes folks look at immediate things around them. Maybe data centers are being built down the road, and they look at their electric bill and say, oh, okay, that's the reason why. It's a bigger problem than that. We've got about a dozen other states in this grid with us. We're all kind of in the same boat, and we're producing less and demanding more, and that's going to mean an increase in the ticket price of electricity.
Well, we also know that Maryland had that mandate to try to go cleaner for a while, and that limited the type of energy that was coming through there. So that's part of it. Can you give me a quick answer on what could be done in the short term to try to help out with those prices, besides just trying to put caps on everything? Because that's not really practical either.
That's not practical, Joel. I think the way we got to get at is we have to, at least in the short to medium term, we have to look at natural gas. That's probably the most immediate solution for us here in the Commonwealth. We got a whole lot of it right under our feet. Yeah. And what these folks that get that out of the ground and take it to market are needing is dependable, predictable regulation, so that when they invest in the necessary infrastructure here in the Commonwealth, they know they can use that to take that natural gas to market for the next 10, 20, 30 years. That's what they're asking for. That's what we need to deliver to them. That helps us over the next decade. Beyond that, it's going to be a whole new world. I don't see any real decrease in the demand for either gas or electricity in the near future. We got to be looking at what's next, because this current increase in demand and decrease in supply isn't sustainable. So Pennsylvanians need solutions. I think we start there.
Yeah, and we know that the AI data centers, they're being challenged to come up with their own power solutions, but that's going to be dipping into some of the things you're talking about as well. Let's jump ahead to the gas situation right now. One of your colleagues is going to be on the show in just a few moments. His idea is to challenge the Attorney General to go after some of these companies that are artificially inflating their gas prices right away before the price that's actually at the pump is changed at all. So they think it's unfair, but we also know that price gouging is very specific. There has to be some different things in play here too. What are some things that you want to look at right away?
Well, for me, what people are asking for in my district is an explanation as to why, if the tax on gasoline is somewhere right around 56 cents, I think it is, here in the Commonwealth, then why is sometimes the cost per gallon more than that compared to other states? Why is it $1 or even more than $1 cheaper in our neighbors' states? So what's going on there? That's one question that people are asking. The other part is, are we sure we're spending that gasoline tax money where we're supposed to be spending it, right? So those are the things that people are asking about here. Like, why is it so much more expensive?
Right.
Is it just a tax? I don't think it is just a tax, which brings up the point that you raised, that what's going on in the market, man? What's going on with the gas stations around the state? Are they gouging us for prices?
Well, what do you think?
You know what? I think maybe. Maybe. I mean, it's the price increase is coming from somewhere, but I tell you what, my family had a small gas station years ago. Nothing as big as Sheetz or Wawa, of course,
Right.
but here's what happens. You buy 10,000 gallons of gas, and then the price dips on the market, and you're stuck with that gas in the ground until you. And so it's not like especially for small vendors that you turn the stuff over all the time. So the smaller gas stations are very vulnerable to.
But on the other
volatility
side,
in the market.
but on the other side, like you said, you've already paid for that certain price. And
Right.
now if the implications around the world, speculation says it's going to go up eventually, is it fair for you to raise the price that you've already paid for or just keep it close to what it
We
is? at least?
did. We did.
Yeah. So there's a choice there. You admit it.
Yeah.
There's a choice there. They don't have to
There
raise
is a
it
choice.
now, but they're jumping ahead of that. And then how to prosecute that is a different issue.
And it does.
Yeah.
And I understand why folks are frustrated because the prices seem to go up way faster than they come back down, right?
Oh,
and
always.
so
Always.
we look around and say, hey, wait a minute, what's going on?
Yeah.
But I tell you, I'm always reluctant for the government to stick its fingers into the market and try to start
Right.
manipulating the market.
Well,
with
someone
price
can
caps
jump
and things
ahead
like
and say, we're going to be the ones that hold the line. So we'll see. I want to get to this before we're running out of time. You have a bill that would allow private school students to take part in extracurricular activities done by the public schools in their area. Athletics already does this. I know that. But you're talking about other things.
Yeah. I think that there are if there's any extracurricular programming, whether it's athletics or art or theater or science or STEM stuff, whatever it is, robotics club, if there is academic value to these extracurriculars, I think they should be available to all students in the Commonwealth, whether their parents choose to send them to a public school or a private school. I think it makes sense.
What about the idea that they've already chosen to go to a private school? So why not make the private school offer the same things to be fair in that sense?
Yeah, because sometimes these programs are expensive to do. You know, it's maybe cost prohibitive. And look, this idea of kind of of having specialized kind of instruction or programs available in different schools is already working in higher ed. We have this in colleges where you can maybe specialize in one school and then finish up your credits in another. Choice works there. I don't see why choice doesn't work in our junior highs and high schools as well.
What if a private school had something really cool and a public school kid said, hey, I want to try that after school activity over at the private school?
Hey, why not? If that kid comes with a little bit of the money to help it out, like sure. It's options, I think, in general are good. And so, you know, that's how we innovate programs that are maybe going to serve our students in the decades to come. We know the world is changing and changing fast. And so we need to make these different kinds of extracurricular activities and programs available to all kids because who knows what the next thing is going to be.
Yeah.
We need parents to be able to choose to give their kid the education that they want.
All right, interesting stuff. Appreciate it. So
Of course.
I think we solved some of it. We'll get the rest next time. Thanks a lot for being here, Representative Barger.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Joel.
Yep. And like we said, another lawmaker is really calling the Attorney General to investigate what's going on with these gas prices. Is there anything legally that we can look into to try to help slow down how fast things are rising? We're looking at that coming up. And welcome back. My next guest is calling for an investigation into those rising gas prices we're all dealing with and seeing every day. Democrat representative from Montgomery County, Joe Ciresi. So we're all thinking about this, but looks like you want to do more than just think about it. Tell us what can actually be done here.
Well, look, we've got issues for when you price gouge. We've heard the governor speak about it. We've heard the attorney general speak about it over time. We have laws about it. Why is this any different than if there was a hurricane or a flood or a fire when we see people brace up the prices? This gas is in the tanks right now. It's been paid for already. All of a sudden, our stations went from $2.65 to one station to $3.10 in a matter of 12 to 14 hours. There was nothing that happened that the gas didn't get there, that the price went up through the roof. I mean, I'm seeing all over Facebook people posting on how could gas go up this high? I get that what's going on in the Middle East is going to affect us eventually. But right now, I think you're taking advantage of the people.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of research on this. People have listened to me complain around the newsroom a little too much about it. 4% of the oil comes out of there that affects us, 20% to the rest of the world. I get that. But like you said, it was already in the tanks. So it sounds like pure speculation. But the other research I did was that the only way it's price gouging is if there is a state of emergency declared by the governor first. Is that the case?
Well, it is. It could be that way, but there's now a war declared by the president on this foreign entity that they're claiming is putting all of our prices up. So wouldn't that supersede what the governor might have declared? To me, this is so far away from politics. This has nothing to do with politics. Democrat or Republican, independents, we're all experiencing the same thing. We're all going, how could you be charging us for this? And how is this okay? Free market, I get it. But this is gouging as far as I'm concerned. And my other colleague, Representative Haddock, feels the same way.
I'll take the other side for a second, even though I'm not on that side. But
no, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, you said it for a second. You said this is competition, it's free market. Maybe a different company holds the line and they keep their numbers low and everyone goes there and then they do better because obviously gas is kind of a small margin win anyway for a lot of these gas stations. They make money because you go inside and you buy the other things that they get the profits on. So why can't one of them just keep the line, stay low, and then they make the profits on the other stuff?
They all could do that. They could have kept the prices where they were and slowly went up or went up due to what's happening in the world.
Yeah.
But that's what my issue is. If we would have seen prices rise over the next 2 weeks, 30 cents over the next 2 weeks or whatever it was, you look at that and go, okay, again, a lot of that gas was bought prior to this happening. But they did this literally within hours of us going over to Iran.
Well, I think we all agree with you that it's out of control. What do we do about it is the real problem here. So legislatively, what are the actual options?
Well, the one thing is for the Attorney General to look into this. The second thing is for us to try and pass legislation that says you can't raise prices like this at this margin that quickly. We all understand about competition, but you can't do it. Now, will that legislation ever pass? I don't know. But it is our due diligence to look at pricing when it comes to our consumers and say, have we done everything we can legally to say whether this was right or wrong?
What kind of price control are you looking at then? What is fair?
Well, you have to what did it go up? What percentage? So if it went from 265 to 310, what is that?
Yeah, it sounds like about, 20%?
20%.
Yeah.
20% in 12 hours.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a fair price. I think that legislatively, if we can't find another solution, we look at this. The other thing is to sit down with some of these companies and say, really? Come on. We get it. And I would never question. I never questioned when it went up. It was going up every day, a little bit here, a little bit there. But in one day, come on.
Yeah, I mean, this may come down to the Attorney General, like you said. Or what about the advocate? How would that work? The consumer advocate?
I think the consumer advocate is another one to look at this.
Yeah.
And, there are things that sometimes are quote unquote illegal, and there are things that are unethical. Where this falls, like you said, some gas company may say, I'm not doing this. I already paid for that gas. I'm going to keep prices low. But let's put them all on alert and say, is this fair? We all need gas to get around.
That's for sure.
Unless you have an electric car.
I hear you. Let's get to something else that a lot of people are thinking about, but what do you do about it? It's AI and public education. That's the campaign you're talking about. What is this and how would it really help out folks?
Well, look, the one thing I think that we have failed on with all this AI is the public doesn't understand what AI truly is, how it's in every part of our daily lives. And when you hear people say, well, I don't want to have AI, I don't want, yes, but you're using it all the time. ChatGPT, you're using it all the time. It's making your life easier. You need to understand what the implications are for the AI and understand what's happening in the background. So what I'm trying to say is within our schools, we need to educate children on what AI is. At our senior centers, have PSAs and understanding AI. And it doesn't mean that you don't use it or you do use it, but you understand what it is. It's a technology that we haven't put enough into, but all of a sudden has just popped up everywhere. Everything we do is now AI. So I just want to see us have people understand what it means and where we're going with it.
What does that look like? Are they all? Is it PSAs or are you requiring things in the classroom? What are you thinking about?
I think that we need to require in public education on AI, and then PSAs. Understand what it is. There is good and bad in everything. But when you understand it, then you know how you want to use it. And if you want to use it, or if you don't want to use it, people are afraid of it too. It's great in some areas, in other areas you're going, But understand it.
Yeah, well, I got a story I'm working on that you'll see very soon. I'll send it your way as well. And even the governor talked about it during his address. Some folks using chatbots or AI to get medical advice. And some of those medical advice says that they're board certified, and they're certainly not because they're for entertainment purposes. But that's just one small part of it. Great topics, good stuff. But now where does it go is the next thing. So I'll give you the final word. Where do you think this gas thing is actually going to go? Do you have enough support?
I don't know. I just put it out yesterday. So we'll see. You know, I know from the media side of it, we're seeing a lot of response.
Yeah.
And if you look at my post on Facebook, it's blown up.
Yeah.
Right before I got on, I was reading a post that somebody put up there about how the heck did gas go up 40 cents a gallon? I mean, it's something that they should have to answer for. Maybe we have hearings on this and let them answer why.
Everyone's talking about it. You're trying to do something about it. I appreciate you. Hey, we'll get you on the show again and see where this goes.
Thank you so much. Nice seeing you.
Good to see you. Our political insiders standing by to talk about this, but also a big arrest out of Philadelphia. What that can mean for the battle over voter ID. Sounds like an illegal alien is being charged with voting in Pennsylvania. We're breaking it down next. Here it is, my favorite time of the week with the CBS 21 political insiders, Democratic strategist Tony Lepore, Republican strategist Charlie Giroux. Some of the big news of the week, it's a 50-year-old Philadelphia man arrested and charged with fraudulent voting in the 24 election. The U.S. Attorney's Office right now says this guy falsely represented that he was a citizen so he could register and vote. He was supposed to be deported in 2000. It didn't happen, and here he goes. So what's going to be the reaction from some Republicans that have been saying this is happening, but now there's an example?
Not just Republicans, but people that care about the integrity of our voting system. This is just one. You could bet that there are more.
Is this going to be amplified to get the SAVE Act going even a bit more momentum?
The SAVE Act should be passed for a whole variety of reasons. This is but one piece.
Okay, so you hear this, you know how it's going to probably be used by the right. So what does the left say?
Listen, nobody wants this happening. Okay, let's say that right now. Nobody wants this. The sky is not falling. Okay, we found out about it just like in Bucks County last year when the Republican was caught registering and voting twice. That's what we do. We have the ability to catch this. The sky is not falling.
Well, we'll see if this gets used in some media ads in the future, and then if this gets amplified, because, you know, the president already was using Philadelphia as an example of...
Well, Philadelphia has more than its share of historic problems with voter...
Yeah, he doesn't like Philadelphia, the president, so let's be honest.
Okay, well, let's talk about the faith in the system to begin with, because even before this happened, Franklin and Marshall College did a poll, a lot of things in there. One of them was, how much do you trust the election process in PA? A great deal or fair amount was 66%. We combined them. Not much or not at all, 30%. Is that a good number even before this happened? 30% saying they're not really sure about
No, it's
this.
a terrible number. And I mean, I don't care what side of the aisle you sit, that is a problem. Because until people have faith in our election system and in its process, there are no winners.
Well, yeah, because they'll either say it wasn't true or they're being apathetic and they're not voting.
Well, it's mostly based on Donald Trump saying he was robbed 5 years ago with the Biden election. That's where a lot of that 30% comes from, in my opinion.
We're looking at the governor numbers on this particular poll. Shapiro up 48% to 28%. What does she do to dig into that a little bit?
Begins the campaign. I mean, this doesn't surprise me at all. Typically, this is where incumbent governors sit. I like to harken back to a long time ago when Dick Thornburg was down, I think, 38 or 40 points to Pete Flaherty.
There's always examples.
There was never a Governor Flaherty.
Yeah. The generic ballot right now for Congress is, once again, these same Pennsylvania voters. Republicans at 37%. It was 40% in October. Democrats at 44. It was 45. The don't knows have gone up to 19% instead of 15. Does that tell you anything?
This is the flux and flow of polling. Polls are snapshots in time, as we all know. these things are going to change multiple times between now and November.
But are you off to a good start, Democrats?
Oh, Democrats have to be happy about this. There's no question about it. Historically, this would be a Democrat year, but this is headed towards a pretty strong Democrat year.
Yeah, the financial numbers are actually like decent for Republicans in this particular poll. All of this before the war actually started. So who knows how that's going to impact things. Actually, 4 Democrats split from the rest of their party to talk about the War Powers Resolution, and they basically kept the restrictions kept the congressional restrictions out of the way, letting the president just move forward with these strikes against Iran without that approval. Why do you think Congress punted on this one?
Because they're afraid of President Trump and they're afraid of his power. And I think they're afraid of him coming into their district on an election year and punching them in the nose.
Big picture is...
Well, I kind of like that answer, but the truth of the matter is Congress has punted on all sorts of powers for decades, and it's not necessarily a good thing. We have increased the power of the executive because Congress too many times has abdicated its own power.
And when's the last time we actually declared war?
World War II.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
literally.
Literally.
So now this goes with the war as well. It's been revealed that Israel hacked the Iranian traffic camera system to eventually pinpoint where officials would be and help with their attack. Now Congressman Scott Perry wants to ban traffic cameras in D.C. for similar security reasons. Does this have a chance of working now that you're using kind of this rationale to go with?
Listen, it was ingenious on Israel's part to do that. You got to give them credit. I think they should, because I paid into this system too many times in D.C. already.
We realize that is a lot of money, but that's part of the problem. $260 million a year with these fines. They found just in their 10 best cameras, $65 million it raked in. They can't say no to that money, though. I mean, they built that into their system.
Yeah, well, Fast Tony over here is one. But I might have to admit to a couple of indiscretions. But the crazy part is, of course, they can nail you even when you're not driving your own car. But on a serious note, I do think it was ingenious what the Israeli intelligence system did. Their ability to pinpoint exactly where these thugs were was so important. And I do think that Congressman Perry has a point. We don't want the other side to be able to do that to us. There's got to be better ways for D.C. to enforce its traffic laws.
Yeah, they could know where our important folks are and politicians at any moment if they were tracking them.
And the government, the federal government, can always come up with some money to help D.C.
Right, and you're not going from X number to 0 if you eliminate these things. There's still going to be traffic enforcement.
$260 million is a big number.
It is a big
number. Even for D.C. All right, folks, we're coming back in a second. Make sure you get on your party hats. We're going to be blowing out some candles. We have a celebration maybe you didn't think about, but we all should be celebrating. Happy birthday, Pennsylvania. 345 this week, March, the very beginning of the Commonwealth.
Wow.
March 4th, 1681. Even these guys weren't born yet. King Charles II of England grants a royal charter to William Penn to satisfy a debt, and now we celebrate. Take a look. Oh, look at these guys. That's a cake that looks just like the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And we got to put more candles on that. 345. Don't burn yourself, boys. Don't burn yourself, boys. Oh, they are so happy. Look at this. What kind of cake you think that is? I don't know. Maybe some red velvet. I don't know. All right. Well, thanks for playing along there. And you guys enjoy your cake.
Your AI.
A few sources next week, that's better. But seriously, we should all be happy we have a Commonwealth here. And 345, a lot more than the 250.
Yeah.
Little number that the U.S. is celebrating this year. Hey, folks, we'll see you next week.